fucking bad.
Because this is like...
Case. I'm not gonna match up right now. Hip hop with my VVS. I don't give a fuck. I don't care what's next. I'ma fuck your mom. I'ma fuck your ex. I'ma slice your throat. I'ma slice your neck. Yeah, keep it tech. Aim it at your head. I won't
Hey, Melvin Skydive.
The Draven ban again.
You ain't got no bread. You ain't got no money. I'ma fuck Amsterdam. I'ma fuck my money. Man, I'm an animal. You a
Rakan first pick? Okay. I guess. Oh, they left the Malzahar out. That might be dangerous. We'll see what happens. Seabird gets his pick. Rooster must be confident.
Yeah, be so fly, but I'm a shy guy.
Are we doing that British thing?
Are you live?
Yeah.
They should play Quirky.
Wait, we're live?
Oh, you're live? Oh.
The Tristana again. I mean, it worked really well last game. I'd be curious why they wouldn't run it back. No, I'm really stuck on they really gave Seabrig the pick that everyone bans away because they're like Seabrig can play, and then what? But like, I'm kind of hyped. He did really well last game, and now he has the tools to run away with it. I just want to know why Rakan first pick. It does not seem like that high priority of a pick.
I'm just gonna start. We're gonna do this live. We're gonna do this live. All right, ready? We're gonna do the. Okay, go ahead.
I thought we were already live.
Nope.
I thought we were live.
We still have to do an intro. Okay.
You said we were live.
We're live, but we have to do an intro.
Are we live now?
Shut up! Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name and welcome to the season 4 Pentakill League. My name is Humphrey Tidsman, and joined with us I have Reginald Percy Allagast and Barbara Streisand. Introduce yourselves.
I'm Sir Nye. What's wrong with you?
Oh, my name's actually Kevin.
Very good. Today we have an interesting game coming off of a win. We have the Ionian Bladedancers in a very good mood, going
But
up
you have
against.
music with this too?
Yeah, otherwise
music
I would
with
be
this
like,
too.
yeah. What? It's a production. Do you even know me?
No.
Oh. Moving right into the action.
Oh my god. Alright. Darius is a crack pick. I straight up think he's OP, and to be frank, IB needs to start running with ideas of who they're going to pick into him. Darius can absolutely run away with it. Victor's a good pick into the Malzahar, but again, I was still high on Seabrig from the last game, and again, they gave him his champ now, and now I am so ready for him to run away with it. Vol absolutely proved that he can hard carry with the Tristana. If he stops jumping into the middle of 5 people every time,
Right.
this is setting up pretty well.
This is another one where it's just like you see them that they're going in on this. They're gonna be having like they're high off of the last game. They knew that they forced a bunch of fights and were able to solidify that lead. So I hope they don't try to be like double down on that sort of strategy and do it because, again, any one of those fights, I don't want to go into like the last game, but any one of those fights could have spelled curtains to the Ionian Bladedancers.
If I'm Rain, I might take the Kindred again for no other reason than it looks like IB banned away the gym because it's a really safe AD carry. And I'm curious if Kuchi's going to be handed a safe AD carry. And if that's the case, I would be, at that point, go late game scaling with the Victor, with the Kindred, with a safer utility AD carry. And then you have a really good win condition to play around.
I do also feel like it's a little bit risky if you pick something like Kindred instead of a tank. Because with the Recon support and the Darius top, their front line's going to be a little bit squishy. And Victor really likes to play that front to back, so they need a strong front line.
Agreed. In that case, you could take something like J4. We were just talking before the other game. J4 got his buffs. That'd be a really strong pick. Volibear is a really good pick in general.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Cece.
I love how flexible J4 is too. You can play it in a lot of different ways. You can pick him, and the team won't really know what to make of it.
This game in particular looks like a almost carbon copy draft for the Ionian Bladedancers. The Anivia was acting essentially like a Malzahar last game, so I don't think it's anything worse, and we might even see more comfort picks coming out. I think the jungler is going to be able to round this all around together.
The Vayne into the
Vayne,
Tristana.
another front to back pick.
Yeah, but I'm very wrong about the safe AD pick if they lock this in. Oh my goodness.
Oh, wow.
Oh, they did lock it in. Oh my, wow. This just seems like an aggressive comp then. This immediately turns into, I can see a Phase Rush Ghost Darius comboed with a Rakan engage. Oh wow, that is nasty. That changes entirely who you put in jungle at that rate. You might pick someone like Hecarim or a Rek'Sai who can just immediately, or a Zac even. That could be a great engage tank. There it
Especially
is.
the early game
There it
for
is.
Victor and Vayne.
Yeah, I'm very
And
scared.
compensate for their weaknesses as champions.
I'm very
That's
scared.
a
Zac is next
dangerous
on
team
Victor.
comp to play
Yeah,
against.
absolutely. I'm very scared for the Ionian Bladedancers just because that engage on the Voidwalkers could be absolutely scary. Just a little bit overextension, getting a counter engage with like a Zac, having the Darius
Then
come
perhaps-
forward ahead.
So then perhaps IB wants a safer jungler. Amumu, sure, but he's going to kind of be an engager, not a counter engager. I'm kind of feeling the Voidwalkers right now. I am hyped up on their picks.
So a bit of a technical difficulties coming out of Nuclear Rooster. Not the kind of internet that you want to be going into this sort of game. I think it's going to be a very even sort of game. Both team fights are going to be crazy. So I think we're going to see... Go ahead.
I love that this wombo combo that IB has with Wukong and Amumu. And with
Yes.
Tark especially, they have CC for days. They can really lock down those team fights, and they will have to demand a lot of respect from the enemy team.
If
That's
they
scary
get
to walk up into.
if they get it.
And I think there are two ways they could play around this top lane. I think Wukong is able to bully the Darius pre-6, and they should look to try and get a small advantage there. That way Darius won't start to run over the top lane and become a threat. And then into the bot lane, Tristana is, in my opinion, going to have a general level of capability over a Vayne. And they should look to bot lane post level 6 to try and get the Tristana rolling. There is a very clear play top side, then play bot side game plan for IB right now.
I think the Darius Wukong matchup is a little bit more Darius favored. So I don't think Firefox is going to have as much priority going into that. So I think he's going to be able to play a little bit more conservatively and work around the junglers. But like you said, yeah, play top side, then play bot side to kind of wrap it all up.
One thing that is nice about that matchup from though is Wukong has a lot of poke, right? And he scales much better than Darius. I feel like
Agreed.
it's hard for Darius to catch him out, especially this is gone.
Yeah, agreed. And I think especially if you look at, okay, Voidwalkers has 3 clear engages. The first 2 major ones are the Zakrakan who can, excuse me, are Zakrakan who can jump in immediately and become immediate threats. And then again, I'd be curious if that Darius is going to become a phase rush ghost Darius and he'll run his way in. That Darius is a lot easier to pick off and prevent from getting to, say, a Tristana. But the Rakan and Zac are able to be dealt with by Amumu and Malzahar respectively. Those two can lock down the counter engages and again leaving Tristana to free fire, which she did a great job of the last game. So it's just I see, if IB can stop the engages from Void, they have a very clear carry with Vol, who was just showing off last game the damage he can deal.
Just waiting a little bit to get some people on. Should I start Jackbox? Is that crazy?
No, I'm down. Go for it. Honestly, is this what it's like to try and stall for time when there's a bug in professional league?
Yeah, I I haven't
If I could jump in for a second.
Oh, absolutely. Whoa, is this
I do have a. If we're gonna have a little bit of
Makes it
panel,
cool.
yeah, let's just throw it to the desk here for a bit. Have a little bit of a more in-depth discussion now that we have an opportunity to talk about it.
I think let's bring it over to this desk, though. I prefer my desk over here on the side.
Cedric, no hats inside.
So today's weather in League of Legends is on the Rift.
Adam, you had something to say as well, Adam?
Yes, I'd like to hear from Kev.
I actually wasn't joking. I do want to, while we have the opportunity, we don't really get the chance to talk about super in-depth stuff, because we don't have the time a lot of the time. How do we feel about the straight up, 5v5, everybody's even team fights? How do we feel like that looks here with these two comps? Because, tonight and honestly, in the past few games in Pentakill, we've been seeing teams take a lot of 4v5s that maybe they feel pressured to take, that they don't really have to. So, I think with that being kind of what's it called? Like a habit. I'm not really sure what the word is for it. I think teams will start to look for these 5v5s as they notice that, this is why teams are losing. How do we feel about that? How do we feel a straight up 5v5 where everyone's kind of relatively even? How do we feel that would go with these two comps?
I think it's...
I immediately look at... Oh, sorry, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much whoever can get the jump on the other person, because the lockdown on the Ionian Bladedancers is you can't deny it. If you get an Amumu over a wall and then just immediately ult, you get the same lock. Please. Kaidou. And then you have the Malzahar further locking down whoever the carry is, whether that's the Victor, whether that's the Vayne, and just continuing that. But subsequently the same thing could happen with a Rakan or a Zac. I think maybe the Taric would win out a longer fight, an extended fight, just because that ult is so good. But if you get a Zac ult on top of your back line, there's no way you recover from that.
Yeah.
So I can't say.
I mean, absolutely.
The hard mute on my mic must have died.
That is definitely a pattern, right? That we see sometimes is in games that aren't super, everybody's super high ranked, whatever. Sometimes the team that engages first, regardless of the comps, is the one that ends up winning it, right? Adam, real quick, I just want to ask you, if you play both the champions, right? If you're Darius into this comp that has a lot to deal with the Darius, honestly, the Malzahar ultimate, like Miles was saying, Taric even, right? Taric's going to stop you from getting those resets. And then on the other side, the Wukong, the Vayne to condemn you away. I've had that happen to me very recently. That feels really bad. The Victor, the Rakan to kind of lock you down. How do you feel as either of these champions going into the team fights? Does it feel, is it difficult?
I feel like it can be hard as Darius, because like you're saying, there's so many things to keep you out of this team fight or to keep you from wanting to run into it. I don't think I think in the mid game, you can spike well enough, and I expect Blackfish to go for his usual Swifties rush, and I think if they can get some early to mid game team fights with Darius, I think it looks good. I think later in the game, you're just not going to be able to, unless you catch them out, like you were saying. If your team pulls the trigger first, Taric's not ready with his ult, Amumu's not in position to follow up, then it can look good. I think Voidwalkers can skirmish really well, and with Rakan and Zac, they can make quick, unexpected fights happen. But if it's just front to back, I think it's really rough for Darius. Even if you get a flank, Malzahar just ults you, or Tristana just shoots you away, and then, doesn't have to deal with you. So,
yeah, for sure, absolutely. Yeah. Looks like the game is or at least the draft.
Yeah.
Started, so.
Sorry, I
love that.
Distracted. Going into these kinds of fights, I think a lot of the early game pressure is going to see... I want to see Sir Blackfish get ahead on that Darius, because he's the only one that needs to kind of be ahead in order to not just explode in these team fights and that just sort of be it for Darius. Everybody on the Ionian Bladedancers can serve a purpose and be useful in some way in a team fight, and be able to have that sort of appeal.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
I
think
want to see that Darius have enough of a cushion to be able to contribute in those team fights.
Yeah, definitely. I think another thing that's important here, but we still have a little bit of time. It's going to be a 3-minute delay. Another thing that's huge too is the late game strength on these carries for Voidwalkers, right? Victor mid, Vayne bot, two of the strongest late game champions that you can draft right now, and both in a pretty good spot, right?
Yeah.
So definitely they don't want the game to get out of hand in terms of like how long it goes. If you're IB, definitely going to be looking for some really good mid-game team fights with Wukong and Mumu just stacking on top of each other, for sure. Also, is anyone a little bit surprised? I mean, I don't know, that Nuclear Rooster didn't go Corki here. I just feel like it's so nice to go Corki into the, the Malzahar that's just going to kind of be pushing you in. I don't know. Feels like that'd be fun. Maybe.
I miss Nuclear Rooster's Corki. He was personally my favorite of his champs in his pool. I knew that like no matter how the game went, the longer it went on, he was just cool as a cucumber. He was like, I'm playing Corki. So it's like I would have loved to see it too, but I think his Victor could do very well in terms of it would serve more of this comp.
I wonder if they wanted more AP into their team, which they would otherwise be lacking if they picked Corki.
Corki does magic damage.
I thought it was physical.
Yeah, it's
I'm
50-50.
Yeah.
50-50?
It's more than 50, isn't it? I think it's... Oh, beautiful.
Oh, we're getting a benching.
Oh.
Well...
Regardless, I feel like they know a lot of magic damage from our mid lane.
Yeah. Now that we have some more time to talk about some more stuff, what do we think the summoners are going to look like across the board here? I've been seeing a lot of Victor Flash Ghost, which is insane, right? That Ghost is that good that you'll forgo it for, you'll forgo getting teleport to get it, right? But it's just so good on those resets, on the move speed resets, whatever you get to take down.
Let me propose this idea. I have a question. Can you cleanse Malzahar ult?
Not with.
Oh my gosh!
Wait, get me in there.
Not
Stop the Q.
Not with the cleanse summoner spell, but you actually can do it with QSS. So maybe that's another thing that helps them out here, right? We were talking about late game stalling and trying to not let the game get out of hand with how long it lasts. If you have to build a QSS, if you have attacks to build, that delays your build, right? That delays your full build. That delays Victor. That delays Vayne from getting super, super strong. So that's awesome, right? That would definitely help. Not let the game get out of hand, for sure. What summoner spells would you take top here as either of these champions? I saw you talking, Adam, about versus Ghost versus Teleport.
I mean, in all honesty, I feel like the way that they want to play this game, you take Teleport on Wukong because you're looking for the big team fights and the Wombo, and Blackfish is a very
Don't you think he has kill pressure with Ignite? I just feel like it's so, especially because Wukong is one of those champions that can actually deny Darius his Q heal really easily, right?
Yeah. No, I think it's Wukong favored, to be honest.
I like that matchup too. Yeah, me too.
It's not to say that Darius can't win it. If you screw up and use your clone too early after Darius has got like a stack or two of passive on you, and suddenly you realize you can't run away, you can die very easily. But
yeah, for sure.
So it can be very punishing. But I think you're chilling as Wukong. You get Sheen, you throw out the Q spam like at a fairly safe distance on Darius. Try and bait out his pull. If you waste that, you go in on him. I think it's fine, and I think it's one of those things where I'd run Ignite normally in a game like this. I'd run TP on Wukong, but Darius, I mean, he's gonna go Ghost Flash almost certainly.
Right. So that's important too, right? If you know what summoners the other guy is going, you go into that decision with more context, right? Whether I take Ignite, whether I take TP, I know that he's not gonna have TP.
Yeah, and you also, you don't have to win that lane as Wukong to be okay.
For sure.
You're going to be totally fine in teamfights later.
Yeah, especially with a Tarek, especially with Amumu, right? Like you're
Yeah.
gonna have a lot of impact in team fights, a lot of CC. I do think it's very important that the damage dealers get strong on IB, right? Because CC is great, but if you can't actually kill some of these like kind of high priority targets, it's not gonna matter, right? It's not gonna matter if Amumu ults. It's not gonna matter if Wukong's ulting the backline. You need Tristana. You need Malzahar to be doing damage for sure.
Yeah, and again, if we get the big 5v5s, which I'm hoping we will, I'll be interested to see how Blackfish plays out the team fight. My guess is you pop Ghost early, and you play front to back. You play very safe, and try and bait out the engage, play back, survive, stack up your passive on someone like Tarek, and then flash Q in and try and go off on the backline once they've kind of blown their engage.
I think that's like Darius's MO in a regular game, but with a Tarek, like you can't
It's
really
scary
do
with
that.
the Tarek, right?
Yeah, the
he
Tarek
will
is not
stop
gonna
you
let
from
you do
getting
that.
those resets, right? Yeah.
He's gonna stun you. He's gonna ult. Like he straight up ults at like 3 or 4 stacks. You're done. Like it's gonna get fall down reset. You wasted the entire time on someone that's just gonna go immune. Like I think Darius's only option is to like pop Ghost and maybe go for like of someone in the back and just sort of disjoint them. Maybe like Zach goes for the front line. Darius tries to flank for the back line. That's how I see it, but I don't...
There's going to be a lot of kiting back, for sure, especially on VW. There's definitely going to be a lot of like, oh, let's go in, see if we can maybe Darius pull somebody or have Victor like do some poke. And then as soon as they, pop Terrical, as soon as they try to get in on the Wukong, we're all backing up. We're all flashing away. We're all trying to disengage. And then we'll come back in when we have, when some ults are down or when something has been used, right? I definitely think that's kind of how VW has to play this, which makes the execution harder, right? Like that's a harder comp to execute than IB, which is just kind of like, let's all go in, let's CC as many people as we can, and let's stop Darius or Victor from doing whatever they do with Malzahar, right?
I didn't think that it was gonna be such a I don't want to say like low bar of execution, but like such a solid execution to just be able to like, as soon as someone's within like as close enough between Malzahar distance or like a bandage toss, just throw every ult at them. Yeah. Like you gotta pick. A pick is a pick, and then just like that's the team fight for you. That's the objective for you. So it seems a lot easier to execute if you're the Ionian Bladedancers here rather than the
Voidwalkers, yeah, absolutely. Another thing that's important, and let me know what you guys think about this. There's actually quite a bit of disengage and I guess counter engage on VW, and actually every single champion has a way to stop Malzahar from ulting if he's ulting one of their teammates, right? Darius can pull, Zach knock up ultimate. Victor's ultimate is instant silence, right? The Vayne condemn, and then obviously everything Rakan does. So, maybe it's not so free for Malzahar, right? Maybe Malzahar has to really be careful with his ultimates, because if he's ulting somebody and someone's next to them, it's very likely that they're going to be able to stop them from using that.
Sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, I'm really curious to see what the jungle start looks like for IB, because I would take Darius Zach in that 2v2 9 times out of 10. And I think there's even a good chance. I mean, I would give Darius early prio in that lane. He can shove in with his Q if he wants to and get early lane prio, and potentially they can look to even move in and make a play on a Mumu. So I feel like you might just want to start topside and work down toward your bot, who you probably want to play through anyways. Because if you risk matching the 2v2 topside, I feel like you can put yourself in a tough spot where you either have to give up experience or scuttle crabs, or risk taking a fight that could really blow up in your face.
I do want to see some restraint coming out of the Ionian Bladedancers, because just like you said, like it could be very bad to overextend against a team like the Voidwalkers. So I do want to see a bit of like maybe restraint with that aggression, because the aggression came out very hard from bot, very hard from top, and it worked out for them. But with this team, it could be very giving an inch with the Voidwalkers could just give them a mile.
Yeah, for sure. Especially early game, that restraint I think needs to be for the top side of the map. They definitely need to wait until level 6, right? Malzahar, Mumu, Wukong all get so much stronger with their ultimates. They definitely need to wait. Bot lane, you can scrap, right? You know, Tristana Taric, you can jump in, stun, you know, make Vayne uncomfortable, make Rakan have to kind of go in and save her. You can definitely do that bot lane, but yeah, for sure top side, definitely want to see them waiting until level 6 to do anything crazy, right?
Yeah, and to me, it feels like the play for the Bladedancers would be, all right, let's have Amumu start top, path toward bot, you know, back him up with some vision, get a gank off if you can, but you don't have to. You can play for scuttle control, keep the pressure up there, and then, you know, maybe on second rotation, look to get a Drake, because you're going to have so much shove with Tristana into Vayne, and I feel like you can threaten the all-in as well with Tristana Taric early. So, yeah, I feel like if they play through that, Drakes are even more worthwhile than before. So
Did that patch go live?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yep. We're
Yeah.
tuning
That
into
patch is
that
live.
patch. Yeah, looks like the game's starting
Hey.
up. Have a good cast.
Can we get a
For both
Discord stream
teams.
on that?
Oh, that's crazy.
Thank you.
How are we feeling about the skins, guys? That's what I want to know. I didn't even realize Victor got this new skin. This looks awesome.
Honestly, Voidwalkers crushed it.
Yeah. Well,
They got the
even
new
have,
Victory skin, clean. That Vayne skin, that's like her best skin.
They have like
That
no
alone
skin on the
carries it.
Zac, but even
Pink
the
Zac?
chroma, just the bubblegum
What do you
chroma.
mean? Zach's pink.
Yeah,
That's his best skin right there.
yeah.
That's it.
This is a solid looking, like very clean going into it. Let's see if I remember all of the things that I need to do. There's O, there's U, there's G, what is it? G, F, H, J,
I, J, K.
I.
No,
Okay.
I'm messing with you.
U. Okay. Well, that.
Typical lineup, although kind of a sneak into the tri-bush that's warded, so nothing eventful is really going to come of it.
What is it? What am I trying to do here? Where? How do I get the timers? Back up. Never mind. We'll do a live.
Timers.
Okay.
Wait, what? Okay.
What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to get the timers for the dragon. Anyway.
Blue's actually moved over. They could try and pick if they stayed a little too long there, but no, they back away.
I think they're showing them that respect.
But now they kind of know. I mean, they generally
And
would have known
the
him was starting
timers.
blue, but that's just confidence now.
Try pressing N as in Nixon.
Ah, very good. Thank
Ooh,
you.
wonderful. It's coming together.
I thought about my own with no help from chat whatsoever. You're welcome.
Thank you. Just
Looks like
CC and nobody
Wukong.
else.
Yeah, I'm
Wukong's
just
not
both
trying to get
different.
early push.
Yeah, I can see. I just want to see at the top there. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty aggressive.
Honestly, I don't know if Wukong wins those early trades.
don't
Yeah,
think
he
so
got an
either.
extra hit off.
I think the win condition there is if Darius starts Q, he has potential to lose that. If he starts W, he wins it every time.
I was gonna say, as Darius, I usually start W as well, but if I'm not confident, ooh, that's the
Ooh, immediate
right
level 2 with the Rakan. Goes in instead of running away. Odd choice.
there. Yeah,
He's gonna
That's
burn his
devastating.
flash. Doesn't burn his exhaust.
Nightmare
Curious counter engage, I guess. Tristana's playing with a ton of confidence. She's just standing right next to them, not even afraid. Double
Yeah.
level 2 top lane. Darius misses the Q, isn't able to get anything off of it. But Wukong's obviously a lot more hesitant to try and go in now.
the same confidence that we saw with them the first go around. Like they want to scrap, they feel good about fighting, they want to do it.
The Wukong's kind of picking up on what to do, though. As soon as that Q goes out from Darius, he immediately jumps in, and that negates the healing and the majority of the damage. So, nice play.
I gotta say that I love that their entire team's pink, except for Darius.
Yeah,
Pink
Darius is
Vic,
just-
Pink... Oh, Amumu's
Darius is
getting
just a
himself caught
teenager
out a
that's
little.
too cool for it.
I That's such
He
a
doesn't
good
want to match with the
reconnaissance.
family.
Oh no!
Oh,
Sebrig,
boy.
no! Good flash gets out. Oh, that could have been disastrous if that Zac had his jump back up.
Ooh, it could be bad for Darius over here. Could be a little overset. Just throw out a Q. No, he should be fine. Oh,
Oh, 9-Rain's coming in. Odd pick considering he was going to lose out that smite fight. But
this
now that
Amumu is
Amumu's away,
sad,
Amumu
yeah.
flashes. He's slowed down. This could be first blood here. Give it to the Darius, and that's a runaway lane starting right there. Oh, God, an
Fantastic
extra 400
rotating.
gold.
fantastic rotation coming out of the Voidwalkers.
I did not have confidence in 9-Raid off that initial engage, but obviously he saw something I didn't. That was really well done.
Like, this is exactly what we were talking about, where it's just like, we're finding that the Voidwalkers are maybe getting of these opportunities that's just like, hey, we can fight too. We're not just waiting until later on in the game. Like, if you want to go, we can go now. And then being able to rotate and get those numbers. Yeah.
But now Rooster knows that Malzahar has no flash mid. That's easily harassable. Valerian goes right back in. This has got to be a kill if he can just get enraged. The jump again, the flash away. The exhaust Vol's going to take a tower hit, but he's going to ultimately walk away pretty safe.
Yeah.
He's very frustrating.
Yeah, Valorant is...
If I'm Vol, I'm absolutely tilted a little bit off of the fact that I can't finalize that kill. Oh my goodness, he's going in the pause.
Oh, I love that
Just in time to save Coochie Nugget here.
You're okay. You're okay, bud. Just stay in it, okay?
Wow,
Just stay
imagine
in
being
the tower.
Coochie Nugget just sitting here watching your screen.
I hope they don't ask
Moments
for
before
Chronobait
death
because
without
I
bomb.
am not versed in it and I will totally butcher it.
You see a lot of Vol leading the tempo of this bot lane. I wonder how much attention they're gonna give this bot lane just so that is Coochie Nugget gonna be able to withstand this sort of thing and then be able to absorb it and then just take it into later into the game, or are they gonna? Ooh.
There we go, but Coochie's gonna lose a whole nother wave too. This could be
That's
devastating to how that wave state plays out. Vol's already a whole lane up.
Instant replay, and then did it break? Guys, if it broke, I'm going to bed. I'm so sad right now. Why is this happening?
I mean, you double check mine. Nah, even mine's busted right now.
Uh-oh. Is this another Jill moment?
We're back. Okay.
Yeah, we're back now.
All right. Yeah, good stuff out of bot lane. Making sure they get that advantage.
Vol's also playing he's kiting around that max tower distance pretty well.
That was very good. That was a very clean sort of I'm going to go in and then I'm going to be able to jump out. There's very little that you can do against getting Taric stunned. It's just a non-option to get caught at all.
They're engaging onto the Rakan. Rakan easily has the option to just jump away.
Yeah.
But, easier said than done in the moment. Do you hesitate? Do you whatever? There could be nerves here. Other than that, the rest of the map seems to be playing out pretty steadily. I mean, mid lane's just kind of a back and forth farm.
Yeah.
Jungle's pretty even. Top lane, although Darius got the kill, he's just coming back with items now.
Yeah.
And we'll see the effect of that. I think I was also using... I think somebody had to mute me earlier. I think I was using the wrong mic. I think my webcam was plugged in and that mic was being used because Discord likes to pick up on it first. Weird stuff. But Darius is a lot more confident now. Gets the flash. He's going to flash in. He gets the Q. This Wukong is dead as it gets. This is what I meant earlier by Darius is an OP pick. This Darius is going to run away with this lane if you let him. This could turn into something disgusting if they do not answer it quick.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty it's a stark difference seeing Mordekaiser just sort of trying to take some shots, but I think
Zach's looking. Does he come in? Tell me he gets the steal. No steal. Dead Zach. Rakan's going in for some reason. Nugget's behind. He's getting a couple hits off of Old Man, but he's going to get hard engaged on. Kill the Amumu, please. No, they're all so low. They can't follow up. Vol can hit for days, but there's no real re-engage. Only one lost the Vayne, and the Dragon does go over to IBD.
That's
overall,
I'd say that fight goes. I mean, that fight is definitely in the favor of IBD, and it's looking. I don't want to say rough, but that bot side of the map is not having fun right now.
It's not necessarily looking rough, but it's definitely looking tough. Like that was so much free fire coming out of the Victor. Nuclear Rooster being able to just like melt them and shred them from the back line, but they just get out with there was no sticking power. They just were able to walk away.
And Vol's significantly up now with what, 2 tower plates in his pocket, 20 CS up, plus that kill. I mean, yeah, he is very close to just getting the mythic if he wanted it. He'll grab boots, which is smart, but he's got a lot of firepower just sitting there now.
I don't know what there is for Vayne to do other than just like try to hold that lane in that spot.
Usually you gotta sit under tower. Vayne can't, or it's a lot harder for the Vayne to try and tower dive because she won't get that invisibility under the tower, and Rakan can counter engage. This Zac seems to be playing around the mid lane, but if I'm Zac, I'm just gonna sit there around the top lane and hover. I mean, sure, maybe you can get this Victor a couple kills, but Victor scales anyways. You might as well start steamrolling the lead that you currently have. If I'm Zac, I'm running it to the top lane and just going, all right, Darius, here's 3rd, 4th, 5th kill for you. Here's a couple tower plates. Let's get Rift Herald and let's run that into the ground. Instead of,
You're definitely not prioritizing drag. Go ahead, Cece.
Also, his top lane's a very easy gank. He's just freezing here.
Yeah.
Wukong has to come all the way up to their tower. And the lockdown that Zac has, plus Darius's pull.
Yeah, no, I sit here and I go, well, what's the next move on the map? What do we need to be doing? And I go, Victor's obviously going to be able to move first, like he is here from the mid lane. And as long as Darius is able to come down, this is a couple of kills. This could be Rift. Wonderful. Great job getting that onto who it needs to go to. And this is just a Rift now, and they need to drop that Rift. Wonderful follow-up. That could be a wall stun. Great job. At least it starts to hamper some of the tower damage. But they need to follow up on that. Tristana does not have an escape anymore.
I don't think there's like much they're able to do with that. I think all Vayne has is just that sort of longsword to get there by, but having a pickaxe and full boots, Tristana can pretty much do what she wants in that lane. I think Valorant knows that as well and is able to just do the patent-pended like engage.
Great job by the Rakan to stop the engage, but yeah, you're right. That's everything now. I mean, maybe he has exhaust that could follow up. This is difficult. Even under tower, it doesn't look like it's the safest play.
They're trying to sustain right now.
But to be quite frank,
yeah.
To be frank, they picked Vayne into this. They kind of knew it was going to happen. If I'm there, you now have to sit there and go, I know what I picked into, and you just play back. If you lose tower, you lose tower. But then you try and freeze that wave under your second and play as safe as you can.
Yeah, Valorant, to say to my boy Vol over here, is doing such a great job, just like you mentioned, like playing to that max range of that tower. Like they are allowed to stay in their tower range and no further. As soon as they step one, that's it.
Oh my goodness. Oh, if he gets one more auto, Coochie's dead there.
Yeah, that is a barely surviving Coochie.
Are we allowed to say that? Is that TOS?
No, it's just quivering back in Coochie. Oh, and that is gonna.
Oh, and he's ruining it. Oh, good ult. Zones off Vol real quick. But here comes the tower called. It's going to make it real difficult to follow up on this fight. Does Vol go back in? No, there's still 3 of them. But again, this Zac is bot lane. Yes, it was just for pathing, but, if we can pan up to top real quick, I think Wukong's to half health. I mean, these are free ganks that could be happening. Darius could be on his 4th or 3rd or 4th tower plate. And then once you open up that top lane, you free up Darius to run elsewhere. I'm still curious on the jungle pathing.
Yeah, I mean, you've conceded Dragon. There's no way you're going to try to contest for Dragon. Like, it's simply like you're playing weak side right now, and now this is Coochie's time to just
now
sort of,
Coochie
like,
has some
back.
space to farm.
Yeah.
If he freezes the wave exactly where it is, it's a wonderful spot. If 9rain's looking to play her on the bot side because of the earlier or the new strength of individual or early dragons, he needs to try and take the steals. He's going to take the farm, which is, he was already in the bot side. Obviously, go get your camps. But it looks a lot more like the Zach is going to have to play for steals than a 5v5 fight, especially because this Darius also doesn't have teleport. If he's going to get to a fight, it's going to be pre-planned 2 minutes in advance.
Which is what we were worried about to begin with, right? Like, each of these comps are very scary, and whoever can convene together first, whoever's able to group up and then get that sort of engage, is who's going to come out on top. We saw that with the Taric ult and the stun. Like, there's nothing to really do
Panda
about
topside
that.
real quick, because Tristana's there. Wukong goes in, great ult, and a wonderful, oh my gosh, what a wonderful flash by Sir Blackfish right there. But it looks like IBD's trying to push their advantage and say, my fed bot lane is better than your fed top lane, and try and see if they can't shut that Darius down before it becomes a bigger threat.
The angle that I'm looking at is, yeah, I would agree that their fed bot lane is more scary than the top lane of the Voidwalkers at this moment. But Zach might be looking a limit test. Mr. Nine Rain is looking to make this happen.
Yeah. Cece, you're the top lane extraordinaire. If you're put in this position, you've got a kill fed enemy bot lane coming into your lane. What are you gonna do? Where are you gonna go? What plays are you gonna make?
That's my Cece. Oh. Stoic, collected, is able to look to very situationally aware. And she's playing Teemo is why. So she doesn't want her passive to go off. She just wants to be like hiding invisible.
You can still laugh while invisible.
Yeah, I've done it.
What do you got, Cece? If
I
you're put in
think
that
it's
position,
rough,
what would
and
you
I
do?
think that you want to force your advantage. And other
Blackfish,
things
what are you doing? That was so disrespectful.
Wow.
What?
To wait that long and to have that be the go in.
Why would you back there? That was incredibly disrespectful. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sorry, cut you
But yeah,
off, Cece.
I think
but
at this point, you're like the fed player on the team, and you have Stridebreaker, you have your boots, you want to go mid lane, so that we have more access to the rest of your team and the plays that are being made.
Sure, I agree. Yeah, send that Darius mid lane. Victor can obviously easily farm under a tower in whatever lane you put him in, so you could throw him top, keep the Vayne bot lane farming. We'll see what Voidwalkers do, engaging on the top lane, but I do not see
They don't have the damage.
Zach Rakan beating out the bot lane here.
Like, it's almost a waste to, I think, to like try to engage
Waste of an ult
on them, just because however many ults you throw at them, one Taric ult negates everything. To be able to jump out and just like have that immunity for that long, there's no consequences you really have to deal with. Like, they had him ping-ponging up in the air for a while, but...
And now I'm curious if, Darius is going to have to pay the QSS tax, because if I'm now Malzahar, I sit there and go, great, I know exactly who I need to focus in a fight. It's Darius, shut him down, and you shut down not only a decent chunk of their engage, but also looks like their damage. Positive news for Voidwalkers is that Victor is farming well enough. He hasn't, suffered any losses. He hasn't suffered a lot of, power damage, so that he's able to play his lane out. That Victor's scaling right on track into the late game if they're able to get themselves there.
And I think that's sort of where their mind is at this point. They're just all like, now we wait. The towers are kind of going down. Like, the early game is sort of been established, and now they're just looking to farm up. The Victor is only going to get scarier. The Vayne is only going to get scarier. But this Tristana, with as much of a CS lead as they have, it could be a little too
CS
scary.
Plus tower, plus now this tower, and this Triss is running away with the gold.
Yeah.
Can we toggle the gold and see what she's
Absolutely. 7,000. That is the
She's
highest.
up 3,000 gold over the Vayne at this point. That's
It looks
nutty.
like they also have a very good opportunity to take this Herald with all the vision control that they have.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, the Zach playing
And
bot
not
side while
carving
Herald's the
down.
objective on the map.
Yeah. And Valorant is at every single one of these cornerstones of the match. Like, he is literally voring the game's economy into his face. He's getting all of the gold. He is Scrooge McDuckie. This
TOS?
right proper fuck. What? Yeah.
There are children here.
I'm very sorry.
There are children here. Also, great ult. Oh no, misses the stun. Tristana ain't able to follow up. Missed engage. The Tristana's dead. Too many failures in a row finally comes to bite them. That is a lot of gold onto the Zac. They're not going to be able to get out unscathed though. That he's dead as well. The Zac might be able to kill Seabrig, but Darius is here. Can he get a couple of kills? Darius is going to start cleaning up maybe. If he can get a couple here, this will be massive. 2 kills for Darius. That Darius just got a payday and a half, so did Zac, and this is an easy rotation into the Dragon. This is exactly what the Voidwalkers needed.
I gotta
Money
say,
in the right places.
I love when you get a couple kills while you pop your ghost, because like his ghost is still going off.
Oh, absolutely.
It's almost like a victory rush.
So much fun.
Being able to get that, an Ocean Drake no less, is going to be great for the Zac, the Rakan, the Darius. Like, they're really... That's the one that they're going for.
IBD put a ton into trying to kill that Victor, and it absolutely backfired on them. That was peak exactly what you did not want to happen.
And this is exactly what we've been talking about, because like that play, if Vol was just a little bit, just a little bit to the left, and that Taric stun hit, that would have been it. Like that's how volatile these engagements have been. And
we'd be singing a different tune.
Yeah, that's absolutely the first time that they've really like said, "Oh, damn, that really didn't go the way that we had expected it to."
Honestly,
because if Vol got, sorry, go ahead.
I think it's really scary to take such close fights like that, especially when they're so far ahead. Like, there's no reason like.
Agreed.
Give
There's
them
no
the
reason
risk
that Vol
of
needs
getting
to
back
jump
into
in.
the game. If you just keep pace and keep playing safe, you will win the game.
Because they were lined up to take that Dragon, that would have put them one away from Soul Point. If they, they could have easily just pushed the Victor in, and Vol would have been able to bull down that mid lane tower, giving you map presence. I mean, there were a lot of easy, map opening, game defining other options that Vol, I think, got a little hyphy there. I don't know if that was the play.
A need here to make any crazy.
Victor going in. That's Zac following up. That's another kill onto Seabrig. Is that another kill that's going on the Amumu? Tristana jumping in, getting... I think Vol's got a thing for jumping in. Zac's going back in. That might be a kill. But no, that's a knockup. Is Zac going to live? The Tristana's dead. What is happening here? The bot lane of IBD is literally throwing the game away.
I am very frustrated if I'm Tristana there.
I'm very frustrated if I'm Taric there. Like, Valorant's jumped in. Like, it feels like they would have just like cut their losses, but they're still like, no, we're ahead. We're gonna push this in. I'm jumping in, and you just can't do that against the Zac. You can't do that.
Legitimately, in 3 minutes, this game has gone from it looks like the bot lane of IBD is gonna run away with this game and make it impossible to. I actually favor Voidwalkers in this scenario. There's money on the Zac. There's a ton of money on the Victor now, who you've just accelerated his gameplay by 5 to 7 minutes, and it's already mid-game. This is nutty.
It's kind of shocking how quickly the game can shift sometimes with shutdowns. Like before, blue side was so far behind, it felt irrecoverable, but now they're up like 2k gold.
Like, especially these Leviathans that
on these scaling.
Now, like, you don't want kills on a Darius. You just don't. Like, to have him ahead in farm and now in a side lane, that's not something you can just answer with just Wukong. Or Victor now. Like, Victor in a team fight is going to be scary. He has, like, 10 stacks on his Dark Seal. He has a Shadow Flame and his Luden's Echo already. Like, you had to.
I mean, good counterplay there. They got the Rift Herald mid. That opens that up. That gives them some space. They might look here for a collapse on the Darius, which could be some kills, but it looks like the Darius is going to comfortably walk away. Unless Vol wants to make a play.
I think at this point, it could be...
Hopefully we're in the post arc where Vol has learned his lesson and he is a stronger person for it.
Vayne has not quite been able to farm up as much as they would have wanted to. It's still up.
Zac going in, but it looks like Seabrig's caught out again. I mean, this is completely different from the game he just had, where he was a reliable CC bot. Seabrig looks like he's going a little too far in some places.
You don't really have that.
Darius really wants that ward.
You don't really have that disengage when you're playing Malzahar as opposed to Anivia. Like, that wall did so much for those team fights, but Malzahar just
Correct.
sort of like has to be in the right position.
But
And
Malzahar
now-
only really has to stand next to, say, a Tark or something and just prevent engage onto the Tristana. It's a slightly different role. And I think that even now, if Malzahar just goes, my job isn't to do anything other than make sure this Tristana doesn't get engaged on, he will successfully fulfill his condition. Tristana's going in on this Vayne.
Looks like we're
Vayne's
looking
able to
collapse
jump
mid.
away. Oh, but is this
Mine
Tristana
one's
going to
going
get
in.
jumped on? No, it looks like this... the Zac might be out a little bit too far. Is lucky to get out with that.
And now you're
Dari
kind
is
of seeing
bullying
the,
the top lane.
body language of the Voidwalkers shift a bit. Like you're seeing them just
aggressive now.
posture. Yeah, they're getting that sort of like, now we're looking for picks. Now we want to start something. And the Ionian Bladedancers just aren't able to sort of keep up. Actually, I don't even know if I agree with that. I just think that the Ionian Bladedancers have been getting caught out in instances where they like just didn't expect the enemy team
And you can
to be
see
there.
it. Actually, I'll go and defend your point, which is if you look what happened right here, Darius came back and moved right up to... He was initially going to red side jungle, but now he's mid. It looks like all of Voidwalkers are kind of going, hey, this is our dragon.
Yeah.
We should be on the point first. We should be getting vision first. And making them try and engage onto us, because I think that actually... IBD's engage is a bit weaker than Void's.
Yeah. We haven't
Versus,
seen
say,
that,
a counter engage.
We haven't seen that 5v5 team fight sort of happen yet, and I don't think that we're going to. I think the Wukong is going to focus on that
Still
side
top.
laning, but
He
And
shows
they
top
see him,
and
so they're
immediately go
starting
to
this
dragon.
dragon. This is free.
Yeah.
They're just giving it away.
there is no real fighting it. But I don't think that's going to be able to be the right call, because like the farther the game goes on, the more the Voidwalkers seem like the stronger pick in terms of draft. I do want to see Vayne catch these waves and get some nugget in the coochie, because
God.
as soon as these team fights get to be like 5v5, you're gonna they're ahead. Voidwalkers are ahead, but you're gonna need that Vayne to...
Agreed.
to
I think
be
that
up
while
to
you
par.
can lean on the Victor to be your late game carry, and it looks like he's doing a fine job of knowing where to place themselves and just kind of pick the fights, being able to have a Vayne that can go, okay, I can pick off a hyper extended target, or I can take out the Amumu that's frontlining, would be indispensable if you're going to try and secure a late game win condition.
Yeah. I'm hoping that... I think the win condition for the Ionian Bladedancers is maybe fighting, just like really putting in all the resources for these dragons, because Ocean Drake is awesome to have into this team comp, like even before the buffs. But now that the buffs are there, it's just like you can't be giving up these dragons just like that. Like, I know some people...
Oh, but it
would
looks like
argue
there's a
with me.
collapse on the Darius. If we pan real quick, IBD
yeah,
looks to be going in. There are 2-3 top lane. They're all going in. Darius starts to poke out first, but Vol's going to go right in. He's going to get his second jump back in. That's a stun Darius. Can the Darius get some healing off? Doesn't look like it. That is a dead Darius who blew
Huge
flash for
shutdown.
nothing, too.
Yeah. And
Great
Ghost.
collapse by IBD. That's exactly what they needed to look for.
I would have liked the Darius to just run at the wall, just to like...
Oh,
make
but
sure-
there's a second counter engage just sitting here. Vol's getting a little danger zone.
That
Oh,
looks
Vol is
scary.
very... No, Vol
What?
manages to get out with the buffer jump, but the... goes back in. There's a second engage. Vol is still not dead, but the Victor's free to kind of kill him. It's there. The Victor ult's going off and burning through everyone. Victor gets 1 kill, 2 kills. He might get a third on Seabrig here. This Victor is left to absolutely tear through the fight after all of the engages have been followed through. And oddly enough, it looks like Voidwalkers will walk away the victors of the overall fight. And they're going to go straight onto Baron and try and capitalize off of what has to be a very chaotic and just absolutely messy fight there.
It has been prophesized before to have the nuclear rooster become nuclear on the Victor, and I think that's what we're seeing right now. Just absolutely melting the entire, just clumping them up and taking them down like they're a wave of minions. I think they need to, like, Victor is now target number 1 if you're Ionian Bladedancers. You need to kill him and him alone.
Agreed.
Carrying these sort of team fights, as well as 9rain, making sure that they're all nice and orderly for Victor to sort of eat with a knife and a fork.
But yeah, you can park this Darius in whatever lane you want. Obviously, preferably a side lane. There's no one that can 1v1 him. They'd have IBD would have to put multiple resources in, while Voidwalkers could take a tower on any other spot on the map. This is a very clear 1-4 or a 1-3-1 in my opinion, and you can start really tearing down the bases. This is Voidwalkers' game to lose at this point.
Yeah. The Darius is just as scary as he was before he died. He has his Death's Dance now. He has his Force of Nature. He's going to be very tanky. And if he just is able to track a little bit more of where everybody is, they're forced, this comp is forced to just run as 5. So if you don't see anybody on the map, that's sort of your answer right there.
Yeah, and with this next dragon coming up in about a minute now, and again, as you mentioned before, Voidwalkers have shifted their tone. They are playing more aggressively. They are first to the objective. They are clearing vision. They're leaving our mid lane a little bit, but that's okay. Victor will pick it up real quick. But it looks like, especially with 3 Ocean Drakes, God forbid they could get the Ocean Soul. That is a level of unkillability on someone like a Zac or a Darius that I would just FF the game at that point.
Yeah, and that's 30 seconds. Ooh.
Oh, and engage straight onto the Taric. Is he going to have to blow ult to get away? No, but there's a teleport in. Do we see any other engages here? They are looking for the Tristana. They were ready to go for it. Oh, the Zac is going right in. He's going to be able to pull the Tristana out. There's an ult. There's the Taric ult, but will it be able to get down on time? It is, but Volt's not able to free fire like he wants to. This fight's going long. Coochie Nugget has to flash out. Nuclear Rooster kills the Malzahar. Darius goes in with 1 reset, isn't able to finish the other. Rakan goes in, can't find anything. Zac's in. Darius tries to get the other follow-up. The Victor gets another kill. That is 4 for Voidwalkers for 1, and they're going to be able to burn down towers, probably get the inhib, and turn around and grab the Ocean Drake. That is, again, a chaotic, messy fight, and Vol just was not able to free hit like he needs to at the back.
I would like to point out that Vayne gets Ginsu's off of that fight, which is her second item, so she's starting to scale as a champion, and she'll become much more useful.
I absolutely agree, but I can't help but feel like the eyes of this 9 Rain and the I want to say the arms of this Nuclear Rooster being able to see these fights and are just carrying, like, lifting up our Vayne.
9 Rain has no fear.
Yeah, they are just leading these team fights.
That's a good thing while they're winning, but if he starts to overlook and over account for his advantages, that might be one way that IBD can get back in. If 9 Rain goes a little too far, extends a little too much, and isn't able to get the engage he needs and puts himself in danger, that could be a way that IBD could get a Malzahar ult off, or Tristan is allowed to free fire, and that's their way back into the game, killing the main tank and being able to directly get to that Victor behind him.
I want to agree with you, but at this point I can't. 3 Ocean
Oh,
Drakes,
it's definitely a stretch. It's definitely a stretch.
I don't even think, like, all of them jumping on Zac, he's just going to, I don't know,
There is an Executioner calling on the Tristana, which, I mean, I'm still not that high on heal reduction. I think it's been nerfed for a little too long now. But, hey, it is there. It is showing a respect for what's about to happen.
I mean, I definitely still buy heal cut, and I know that's a controversial opinion. I just don't think Tristana is the one that needs it right now. Just getting enough damage to
Sure. No, that's fair.
To get some damage out, just because the Victor it's more of like a we kill you before you kill that, because this is through Tarical. If they can't kill them through Tarical, there's no, what is this?
Yeah. Cece, you were going to say something?
I was going to say, I just want to point out that not just Victor has a Magi stack, but also the Zac.
Yeah, they both have a very kind of BM. Honestly,
That's very BM.
Don't like that kind of Voidwalkers. With the emotes, with the something, kind of giving Team Slytherin vibes to me, if I do say so myself. But listen, if you got it, flaunt it. Nuclear Rooster
We did miss it
hasn't
there
died.
real quick. I'll pick it up. We did miss right there that the Tark was picked off. It does give a lot of room for Voidwalkers to walk into their jungle and start to take objectives. Maybe the mid. 9-Rain going in again, looking for the engage. That's a pullback that is potentially no. That's a great flash, but 9-Rain is relentless with this engage. He's able to stay in. This Tristana, after a full engage with a bomb and probably 5 autos, gets him down to maybe half health. Zubaba's dead. Zubaba's definitely dead. 9-Rain gets away. Tristana's able to hit a bit, but you saw that was Tristana free hitting, absolutely pumping auto attacks in. And what does she have to show for it? Yes, a dead support, but 9-Rain's able to walk away almost scot-free, and the rest of the team's full health.
Ionian Bladedancers getting a bit of a taste of their own medicine with the
I think the
sort of
biggest
aggressiveness. Go ahead.
I think the biggest flaw here is just Vol is the only sustained team fight damage, whereas the rest is either CC and long damage or, quick burst.
Yeah.
There is no heavy damage.
Yeah, we
I
didn't
think that Wukong has pretty good sustained damage.
we haven't really
Not nearly as much as Tristana, but
Yeah.
he does definitely excel in longer fights.
It's not the kind of damage that can stand toe to toe against the Victor though. Like there needs to be like a solid like
Tristana picking back up where she tried to leave off. Doesn't pay off there though.
If you had more of like sustained damage and like sort of a mage, maybe even that Anivia, like having more damage, like Malzahar doesn't really give that kind of damage to a team fight, other than the silence wall or just like being able to like channel someone for ult. I've
Stopwatch on the Victor 2 now, so that gives him some quick sustain if he gets too engaged on. Almost full build, actually. But it looks like not even a trade of objectives. It's still a minute till final dragon, but
they're
it
gonna
looks
try
like
to
that.
pressure mid, but like I take a Baron for one tower.
But they might be putting themselves in a dangerous spot. Yeah, they need to get out right away, otherwise they were in danger of being straight engaged on. Set up for dragon. See if you can't get early vision. That way you can try and walk in with less danger. But at this point, I think that Voidwalkers is going to walk in, take that dragon, and with that, they could just end the game. They're nearly unkillable at that point.
I think this is going to be their sort of last hurrah. They kind of backed to reset for this dragon, but this having soul, it's like you said, there's no real coming back from this. Especially now that you got Victor, who's max stacks on the Soul Stealer, and Zach coming close behind him. They're just going to be coming out like way too much damage that.
Vayne's almost on 3 items, but in downside news, she has also been officially Flame Horizoned.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of shocking that not many members.
Zach going in again. Do we see anything from this? Tristana's waiting. Coochie Nugget immediately blows up Coochie Nugget. Can Tristana get a little bit more about this? Tristana's going in. Oh my god. The Victor's dead.
Down.
Tristana's alive. But the Zach is still going in. Is this Tristana going to be able to live? That's a fantastic pickup by the team right before this dragon. Vol's able to go out. But Zach's going to go in. Finishes off the kill. Malzahar isn't able to ult in time, or rather, it doesn't do much. They're still going through with it. Blacks is alive. Zoomies is alive. Seabrook is alive. Seabrook needs to sit there and do some damage. Zubaba isn't able to finish anything up. But no, 9-Rain and Zuba are able to actually sustain this. What looked like an absolute destruction by IBD for Voidwalkers being able to potentially steal away that final dragon is able to be pulled back from the depths by Zach and Zubaba. They're able to get the dragon. Blackfish is beating on the tower. Wukong can do nothing but sit there and watch as his base gets absolutely destroyed. What an insane turn of events from what was an absolute win for IBD in the early start of that fight.
I am smitten by 9-Rain's Zach. The man really, and I need you all to deafen here if you're children. He put his dick on the table, and he slammed it. It slammed it on the table, and I quite frankly, I thought he was gonna just go in and die. Like I didn't think that was gonna happen. I thought it was a very disjointed team fight, but it really goes to show what a super
and I thought Vol overextended it first, going all in for Coochie Nugget. I thought was an odd choice, but it paid off. Yeah. Was able to follow up, get the victor, and from there, I think, Tristana wasn't able to get away, but the rest of the team also didn't immediately group and go, okay, what's the next target to stop this? Obviously, Darius wasn't there, so it literally was just 9rain and Zubaba who won the rest of that 2v3. That's insane.
It really goes to show, like, having someone as tanky as Zach with 25
Oh, here
stacks
goes
on
the Zach
giant.
again. What are we going to see? One
That
pull.
looks like.
Oh, isn't able to follow up. Couple of stuns. Oh, but the Darius is going in. The Zach follows up. That's an easy Darius ult. That is one dead teammate. That is two dead teammates. That Victor finds another kill onto the mid laner. Unfortunately for Seabrig, he was not able to emulate what he was able to do last game on his signature pick. Oh, this is falling apart very quickly. Valerian is just free hitting 9rain, but what does it matter? He's going to heal up all of that health back soon. Wukong, too little, too late, it seems, isn't able to find an entryway to try and start a team fight. Zoomies is dead. They are looking to bowl over and win this game. Tristana's dead. Do we see the final kill for the ace? Wukong is dead by the axe by Darius, and this has to be one of the weirdest, most aggressive games we have seen in the league so far.
It was
what
an
was a very
absolute
aggressive
brawl.
early
Like, there
game
was no
into
way.
an aggressive mid game
Yeah, there was
into an
no
aggressive
stopping
late
the
game.
amount of fights that there were happening. Like I want to give it to Zach. I gotta give it to 9rain. Like
Oh,
I,
he's
I,
easy my MVP.
I definitely agree.
Easy MVP.
I feel like he had so many good engages, and there's so many times where I just thought he was going to straight up die, and he just ended up living. And the amount of kills
Oh,
that they got
absolutely.
off of it and snowball tempo.
Just the vision for the fights, the visions of where he needs to be. The rest of the team, of course, for following in on that. Just well done.
fantastic work to the Voidwalkers beating out the Ionian Bladedancers. Tune in next time when we stream Fortnite.
Wait, what?
That's right.
Fortnite? That was our third reading Among Us.
We're gonna put a profanity filter on Gcola too.
We'll patch me. Okay. Bye everybody.
Where'd you get Fortnite from?